These heartbreaking and incredibly moving images show the affection and love shown during the height of the AIDS crisis. Photographer Gideon Mendel's project The Ward began in 1993 when he spent a number of weeks on the Charles Bell wards in London's Middlesex hospital. All the patients on the ward were dying with the knowledge that there was no cure for the disease. During this time, antiretroviral medications were not available and patients on the ward faced the prospect of an early death. In these very unique images, Mendel was granted special access to photograph 4 patients and their visitors. All of the patients who were photographed by Mendel died soon after the pictures were taken. One photograph of John and his partner Michael kissing on a bed is particularly touching and presents a totally different portrayal to the fear and homophobia sometimes exhibited during the crisis. Mendel says that patients on the ward, many of whom were young gay men, displayed incredible bravery by allowing him to photograph them considering the high levels of stigma and fear of AIDS which existed at the time. Despite the highly negative portrayal of the AIDS crisis, Mendel captured truly moving and beautiful pictures of his subjects' families, lovers and friends. During his time on the ward, Mendel photographed patients' treatments and everyday hospital life. He also captured the intimate way in which patients and hospital staff interacted with one another. Mendel commented that the staff became far more attached to their patients than was commonplace in hospitals at the time. South African-born Mendel has focused heavily on the impact of HIV/AIDS during his career around the world. After documenting the struggles and injustices of apartheid in South Africa, Mendel turned to photographing a new epidemic affecting the world. At the time, those suffering from HIV and AIDS were generally demonized due to fear and misunderstanding. At the time, photographing those affected by AIDS would generally take place outside the hospital walls, which further increased misconceptions and fear of sufferers. Mendel sought to reduce the irrational fear and misunderstanding surrounding the crisis by taking a step inside the wards and document the truth behind the hysteria. One of Mendel's standout photographs from the ward went under the hammer at the Christie's auction house to raise money for the Terence Higgins Trust to support those affected by HIV. The image of John and his partner Michael kissing on a hospital bed sold for £3,500. A book of the project will also be published by Trolley Books.